Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. CJ Curry here, back with another NBA player prop video here on Tuesday, March the 11th. We're getting to it early this AM. If you're new to the channel, haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity to hit the subscribe button. It's free for you to do. I'm dropping research-driven, data-driven NBA player props each and every day here on the channel. Now, they ain't always going to hit, but nobody's picks always do hit, but at least you're along for the ride. So I appreciate everybody who has subscribed. Hit the like button as well. And leave a comment down in the comment section below. What is your very favorite player prop today that maybe we could pair with a Taco Tuesday pick? If your pick ends up getting selected, I'll choose somebody to win a free month of Dub Club, which is a $20 value. That's our VIP community where I'm giving out picks, plays, and parlays each and every day, more than I can squeeze into a YouTube video. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to join a group of individuals who are after the bag, who are trying to help each other win more together, then Dub Club is the place to be. So I'll be picking somebody once again from the comment section to win a free month. Now, yesterday's video, I looked at the comment section. I had a hard time finding a single comment with a player prop that was left or recommended by you guys, the viewing audience, that actually hit. Yesterday was kind of a rough night. Kind of had that idea, that sense that yesterday would be a rough night because of all the injury news. I mean, the NBA has just been absolutely riddled with injuries. And so hopefully today is a little bit better. It's only a 4-game NBA slate today. So without further ado, let's jump right on into it. So we're obviously looking at PrizePicks, but you could take these player props wherever you may find them. That could be PrizePicks, Underdog. That could be your favorite sports book. Really doesn't matter as long as you're getting them at the same line that I'm getting them at. So what are we looking at for today? Well, Donovan Mitchell was one that kind of caught my eye at 21.5 points. He's going up against the Brooklyn Nets team that's just not very good. There is blowout potential. Anytime you get a team that's as good as Cleveland versus a team that's as bad as Brooklyn, well, there's an opportunity there for a team to get blown out, and that is what is expected to happen according to Vegas when you look at the spread of about 18.5 points. That's what the Cleveland Cavaliers are favored by. But hopefully, if Cleveland does blow out Brooklyn, it's because Donovan Mitchell's balling out. And so the over at 21.5 points looks like a really good way to go here. Now, why do I say that? Well, because we're looking at a number of different factors, a number of different data points, one being sportsbook data. If you look over here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, this tool right here is fantastic because it's going to get real data, real market data from different sports books. It's going to look at the way that the money's coming in. The juice, is it in the favor of the over or is it in the favor of the under? And it's going to tell you that. It's going to strip out the VIG and it's going to give you the true odds, or fair odds in this case, of Donovan Mitchell going over. And as you can see on screen here, he's got about a 54.18% chance of going over 21.5 points. So this is probably going to be one of those props that gets bumped up to 22.5 points before it's all said and done here. But yeah, the 54.18% chance looks pretty darn good so far. But on top of that, we also add other data layers to our decision making. And in this case, we're going to be looking at some projections for Donovan Mitchell. So if we go over here to RotoWire, they've built out a very cool PrizePicks NBA player prop pick'em tool. Not only does this work for PrizePicks, but it works for Underdog, it works for Sleeper, and it works for a lot of different sports books. So if you're interested in this or the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, links down in the description. When you use those links, it really helps the channel here and helps support the content that we give away for free here each and every day on YouTube. But taking a look at Donovan Mitchell, anything that's really involving his points is leaning over today. So it could be just the points on their own. It could be the points and assists. It could be the points plus rebounds. It could be the points, the rebounds, and the assists. So a lot of love here for Donovan Mitchell according to the RotoWire projections. When we crack open his player prop card for the points, you can see that he is projected for about 22.98 points, right around 23 points today. That puts him at about 1.5 points higher than where his line currently sits. He is coming off of a bad game, a stinker of a game against the Milwaukee Bucks a couple days ago. He only had 15 points against Milwaukee. I could see him coming back strong tonight in a bounce back type game against a team that's really just a punching bag. He has gone over this prop this season at a 62% clip. He's averaging over 24 points per game. He needs 22 tonight to hit the over. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here for Donovan Mitchell. When we look at the last 5 home games, he has gone over in 5 straight games played in Cleveland at home. So he's done a really good job of going over this, averaging over 26 points per game at home this season. So fantastic numbers here for Donovan Mitchell. The last 5 head-to-heads against the Brooklyn Nets have also been very fortuitous for Donovan Mitchell. He has gone over in 5 out of his last 6 games. So Donovan Mitchell balling out against Brooklyn as well. There's a lot to love here for Spida. Now, what about the projections over on Fantasy Labs? Obviously, you guys who have watched before know that I like to use multiple different player prop models. And in this case, they've got Donovan Mitchell at 27.3 points, gang. That's a whole lot more than 21.5. And so the over on Donovan Mitchell at 21.5 points looking real good, according to the Fantasy Labs NBA player prop projection for Donovan Mitchell. Another projection that kind of caught my eye was this one right here. It's presented by Roto Grinders. It's brought to you by Shot Quality's Advanced Analytics. They've got Donovan Mitchell at a little bit more of a conservative number. It's still a much higher number than 21.5. At just 25.62 points. That puts him over by more than 4 points versus his line today. And last but not least, the website or artist formerly known as Numberfire has now morphed into FanDuel Research. And when we take a look at FanDuel Research, we can see that Donovan Mitchell's got a nice player projection for his points. That number is actually 22 even. So they got him projected for 22 points even. So 4 different models love Donovan Mitchell for more than 21.5 points. That is probably soon to be bumped up. The next guy is coming from the same game, Brook Lopez. Actually, not the same game. The Milwaukee Bucks are taking on the Indiana Pacers tonight. Brook Lopez kind of caught my eye at more than 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He's been in a little bit of a slump here over the last 3 games, but this is a matchup, historically speaking, in which he has taken full advantage, doing really well against the Indiana Pacers, and he's done really well on the road as well for the Brooklyn Nets. He used to play for the Brooklyn Nets. His name is Brook, but he's with the Milwaukee Bucks now, so he's done a really good job here for the Milwaukee Bucks on the road, taking on the Indiana Pacers. So more on the 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So we're going to go back over here to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. When we plug in Brook Lopez's name, you're going to see some mixed results here. Some of these are unders, some of these are overs, but the one that really shines the brightest here is the points, rebounds, and assists for more or over on 17.5. About a 52% chance that he goes over this number. Pinnacle, which is considered the sharpest sportsbook out there, the gold standard when it comes to all sportsbooks, they've got odds of minus 134 of Brook Lopez going over 17.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. So a lot of sportsbook data being pulled in here, and a lot of data that's saying Brook Lopez, based on the money, the way that the odds are set up here for this prop, is going to go over 17.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, it's not always right. It's not always accurate, but nothing ever is. So definitely bet responsibly. But taking a look here at some Brook Lopez projections using RotoWire, pretty much everything Brook Lopez is leaning more. You got the lean more column, you get the lean less option. There is nothing under the lean less option for Brook Lopez tonight. Everything is over on the lean more side of things, including the points, rebounds, and assists, which is the one that we're discussing right now. He is projected for 19.66 points, rebounds, and assists, more than 2 PRA different than where his line is sitting right now at 17.5 PRA. The last 3 games, as I mentioned, have not been so kind to Mr. Lopez. He's had just 5, 10, but more recently 16 points, rebounds, and assists against Cleveland. So he has picked up the pace just a little bit. They'll still be without Bobby Portis. Giannis has been nursing a calf issue. So Lopez, if there was ever a time for him to perk back up and have a good game, it would be this one. And as I mentioned, he does play pretty well on the road. He has cleared this line in 6 straight road games. So he's done a really good job playing on the road. A lot of these came from the month of February. He's got one game, which was against the Atlanta Hawks, where he had 29 PRA on the road. So not afraid to play away from home, so to speak. Now, against the Indiana Pacers, he's got a lot of head-to-heads versus Indiana in his historical game logs here. And he's done a really good job against the Pacers, averaging about 21.1 points, rebounds, and assists in his last several head-to-head matchups. 13 games. He's gone over in 10 out of his last 13 head-to-head against the Indiana Pacers. Now, that also includes 2 for 2 this season, putting up 19 and putting up 24 points, rebounds, and assists against Indiana in those two head-to-heads from this season, the more recent sample size. So things looking really good here for Brook Lopez. Now, of course, we're going to run some projections on some of these other sites and let you get an idea of what he's projected elsewhere. Points, rebounds, and assists doesn't look like it's up here on Fantasy Labs, but let's see. We've got him for 18 just on the points and rebounds on their own. That doesn't even include if he gets an assist or two. So just the points and rebounds projection sitting at 18. Again, his line is 17.5. So if he happens to find an assist or two, that's just, found money, so to speak. That's just the cherry on top. But you could see a very favorable projection for Brook Lopez over on Fantasy Labs. Shot quality, they will have the points, rebounds, and projection for him over there. Points, rebounds, and assist projection sitting at 19.32 for Brook Lopez. So it's something you'd like to see when you go and check these projections and compare to the PrizePicks lines. And then obviously we're going to go back over here to FanDuel Research and take a peek at their projection. They got him at 11.7 points, 5.1 rebounds, another 1.7 assists, for a grand total of about 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists, putting him over 17.5 by one whole PRA. So that is looking like a solid option for you. Going back to Cleveland, because again, there's only 4 games today. We don't really have a whole lot of choice, a whole lot of options, especially with the pending injury news on some of the other teams and games. We're going to go back to Cleveland and look at Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds. This one looks really good. You could also go PRA. There's a lot of good ways, actually, for Evan Mobley today. They all project pretty darn well. But let's take a look at Evan Mobley's lines across the industry today. Going back to the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer, they have his rebounds plus assists as an under option, but we're moving down one and looking at the rebounds on their own. The rebound line is set at 8.5. He's got about a 52.7% chance of clearing 8.5 boards. You're seeing some sites, some books like FanDuel and DraftKings already move his line up to 9.5. So don't be surprised if PrizePicks ends up splitting the difference here with some of these sports books. When there's books that have him at 8.5 and there's other books that have him at 9.5 rebounds, normally what PrizePicks will do is give him a half a point bump or half a rebound bump and split the difference and put him at exactly 9 rebounds. They want to sort of induce a tie or a push potential, and that kind of seems to be the case with PrizePicks more often than not. But the over on 8.5 rebounds, if you can find it at 8.5, looks like a good, solid choice based on the sportsbook data that's being pulled in here on the Daily Grind Fantasy Optimizer. So let's go check out projections for EMOB, Evan Mobley. We mentioned his rebounds, but I also mentioned that there was a number of different props that looked like lean over options. If you wanted to go PRA on Mobley, you could absolutely do that. Wouldn't be mad if you did. Over on the 8.5 rebounds, good look. Over on the points plus rebounds, also another projected good look. So couple of different ways you could go on Mobley. Let's look at the rebounds, though. We're talking 8.5 boards. He is projected for 11, according to RotoWire. 11 versus 8.5. So those are the types of gaps or differentials that you want to put your money on. That is a difference of about 2.52 rebounds. So Evan Mobley projecting really well. He's coming off kind of a down rebound game. We talked about Mitchell having a down game against Milwaukee in the scoring department. Mobley had a bit of a down game in the rebound department, and so hopefully he yo-yos back up and goes over 8.5 boards today against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, playing at home, Evan Mobley averages right around 10 rebounds per game. He's got a 65% hit rate for the season, so done a good job of clearing 8.5 boards, done a good job of doing it at home. And against the Brooklyn Nets, not too shabby either. He's faced them twice this season, gone over in one game, under in the next. And then he's got a total of 3 games where he's gone over 8.5 rebounds in the last 5 head-to-head meetings versus Brooklyn, averaging around 10.4 rebounds per game versus the Nets. This season, he had 5 boards back on December the 16th, and then they played again, and he had 13 boards. And he's got another game in here. This one looks like it was from November the 9th, actually. So he's gone over in 2 out of 3 games. I take that back. 2 out of 3 games he has cleared versus Brooklyn. 16 boards and 13 boards And then he had just 5 boards in that one matchup versus Brooklyn back on December the 16th. So Mobley done a really good job clearing this number versus his opponent tonight. Now, taking a look at some of the other projections for E-Mob, Evan Mobley, 9.5 rebounds over on Fantasy Labs, puts him over 8.5 boards by 1 whole rebound for you mathematicians out there. So that's a pretty big gap or differential for Evan Mobley when it comes to rebounding. Taking a look at his projection over on shot quality, they've got him at 9.53, so they're liking Evan Mobley to clear his rebound prop once again. And then taking a look at where he's at on FanDuel Research, that projection a little bit lower, but still slightly higher than 8.5, leaning closer to 9 rebounds than 8. And that is exactly what we need out of Evan Mobley, is 9 or more rebounds on today's matchup versus the Brooklyn Nets. So there you go. Evan Mobley over 8.5 rebounds, looking like another solid choice. So that's all I've got for you. The 3-piece extra crispy. Hopefully all these picks hit, but now is when I turn things over to you guys. This is your opportunity to win a free month of Dub Club. All you got to do is hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, go down to the comment section and comment your favorite player prop of the day. If that prop ends up hitting and I end up picking it, then you will see me in the next video with your name up on the screen. Good luck on all your picks, plays, and parlays. Happy Taco Tuesday. I'll be sending slips over in our Dub Club and Discord. And if you want access to that, go down to the comment section of today's video. It's the top pinned comment, 7-day all access free trial to all my picks, plays, and parlays each and every day for the next week. Can't go wrong there. Good luck. Catch you in the next video real soon. Peace.